Few people expected Jimin and Jungkook's appearance on the final night of the Toronto concert to deliver one of the most surprising moments of the evening. The two suddenly took the stage for a dance collaboration that combined elements of Korean ballet and the dance swim concept. Their movements were so perfectly synchronized that the entire Rogers Stadium seemed to fall silent before erupting into cheers from ARMY. So, what exactly made this brief performance so captivating and led it to be called one of the most memorable moments of the concert? Welcome to Jimin Gallery, the home for Park Jimin fans who want to discover all the latest news, interesting facts, and stories behind the world's spotlight on Jimin. BTS's Jimin and Jungkook once again created a special moment for fans during the final night of their concert at Rogers Stadium in Toronto. The two performed a dance collaboration that combined elements of Korean ballet with the dance swim concept, creating a performance unlike their previous appearances. On stage, Jimin and Jungkook showcased their dancing abilities, which have long been among the highlights of their performances. Their soft, precise movements blended with dynamic choreography, making the collaboration feel like an artistic performance specifically designed to close out the Toronto concert series. The Korean ballet influence could be seen in their elegant body movements, balance, and choreography that emphasize the expressions of both BTS members. Meanwhile, the dance swim elements gave the performance a more fluid quality, as if Jimin and Jungkook were taking the audience on a journey through a dance performance filled with energy and movement. The performance became even more captivating because Jimin and Jungkook were able to showcase their individual strengths without losing their unique characteristics. Jimin is known for his expressive and detailed dancing, while Jungkook brings powerful energy to every movement. Together, their contrasting styles created an on-stage chemistry that became one of the highlights of the final night. Fans filling Rogers Stadium responded enthusiastically to the performance. Cheers and applause accompanied every part of the choreography, especially when Jimin and Jungkook performed movements together with an impressive level of synchronization. The collaboration also offered a glimpse of BTS's artistic side beyond their musical performances. By blending traditional and modern dance, Jimin and Jungkook brought a touch of Korean culture to the stage while presenting the Toronto audience with a fresh and visually striking performance concept. The final night at Rogers Stadium ultimately ended with one of its most memorable performances, as Jimin and Jungkook took the stage together for the dance collaboration. Their combination of Korean ballet and dance swim created a special moment for fans while adding another memorable chapter to BTS's concert journey in Toronto. BTS's Jimin and Jungkook once again created a special moment for fans during the final night of their concert at Rogers Stadium in Toronto. The two performed a dance collaboration that combined elements of Korean ballet with the dance swim concept, creating a performance unlike their previous appearances. On stage, Jimin and Jungkook showcased their dancing abilities, which have long been among the highlights of their performances. Their soft, precise movements blended with dynamic choreography, making the collaboration feel like an artistic performance specifically designed to close out the Toronto concert series. The Korean ballet influence could be seen in their elegant body movements, balance, and choreography that emphasize the expressions of both BTS members. Meanwhile, the dance swim elements gave the performance a more fluid quality, as if Jimin and Jungkook were taking the audience on a journey through a dance performance filled with energy and movement. The performance became even more captivating because Jimin and Jungkook were able to showcase their individual strengths without losing their unique characteristics. Jimin is known for his expressive and detailed dancing, while Jungkook brings powerful energy to every movement. Together, their contrasting styles created an on-stage chemistry that became one of the highlights of the final night. Fans filling Rogers Stadium responded enthusiastically to the performance. Cheers and applause accompanied every part of the choreography, especially when Jimin and Jungkook performed movements together with an impressive level of synchronization. The collaboration also offered a glimpse of BTS's artistic side beyond their musical performances. By blending traditional and modern dance, Jimin and Jungkook brought a touch of Korean culture to the stage while presenting the Toronto audience with a fresh and visually striking performance concept. The final night at Rogers Stadium ultimately ended with one of its most memorable performances, as Jimin and Jungkook took the stage together for the dance collaboration. Their combination of Korean ballet and dance swim created a special moment for fans while adding another memorable chapter to BTS's concert journey in Toronto. Jimin and Jungkook's chemistry became even more apparent as they began moving in unison on stage. Their remarkably tight synchronization made the choreography appear seamless, while their expressions added a distinct character to every part of the performance. Jimin delivered soft, expressive movements, while Jungkook brought a stronger sense of energy to each motion, creating a combination that made their performance even more captivating. The small interactions between the two also became part of what made the atmosphere even more lively. Their glances, subtle changes in expression, and moments of moving side by side seemed to show that Jimin and Jungkook were not simply following the choreography, but genuinely enjoying the performance. This chemistry made it even harder for ARMY to take their eyes off the stage. Rogers Stadium transformed into a sea of light as the concert lights came on, and thousands of fans raised their light sticks. The giant screen showed Jimin and Jungkook from various angles, allowing every movement to be seen clearly, even by those seated far from a stage. As the choreography moved into a more intense section, the screams of ARMY grew louder, filling the stadium. The audience's cheers became even louder when Jimin and Jungkook performed movements in perfect unison. Every change in position, expression, and choreography seemed to receive an immediate response from the crowd. The atmosphere made the performance feel like more than just a dance routine. It became an interactive moment between the two BTS members and the thousands of fans who were there that night. The combination of Jimin and Jungkook's chemistry and the incredible atmosphere inside Rogers Stadium ultimately made the collaboration one of the most memorable moments of the night. From their synchronized movements to ARMY's overwhelming response, every element created the impression that Jimin and Jungkook had delivered a performance that was not simply meant to be watched, but experienced together by everyone in the audience. Korean cultural elements were another highlight that gave Jimin and Jungkook's performance at Rogers Stadium a distinctive character. Movements inspired by Korean dance traditions were combined with modern performance techniques, resulting in choreography that felt both elegant and dynamic. This fusion made their performance more than entertainment. It also brought a touch of Korean culture to thousands of spectators in Toronto. Throughout the performance, the Korean influence could be seen in the controlled use of their bodies, subtle changes in positioning, and fluid transitions. These elements were then blended with a faster and more expressive modern choreography style. Jimin and Jungkook were able to embody both characteristics simultaneously, creating a contrast between softness and strength within a single sequence. The dance swim concept also added a unique quality, as the movements seemed to follow the flow of water. Every transition between Jimin and Jungkook appeared seamless, while changes in tempo created moments of surprise for the audience. When traditional elements met modern styles, the stage was transformed into a performance space that demonstrated how Korean culture could be presented in a more contemporary form. Another distinctive aspect was the way Jimin and Jungkook used their expressions and movement qualities. They relied not only on technique, but also on gestures and facial expressions to convey the mood of each section of the choreography. This combination made the performance feel more dramatic and allowed the audience to follow its emotional progression even without dialogue. However, the most intense atmosphere arrived when the choreography reached its climax. The music and movements gradually built in intensity before Jimin and Jungkook began moving faster through a sequence that required an exceptionally high level of synchronization. At that moment, the attention of the entire stadium seemed locked onto the stage, with everyone waiting to see how the two would complete the final part of the choreography. The climax came when Jimin and Jungkook performed the final movement together before stopping in a powerful pose. ARMY's cheers immediately filled Rogers Stadium, while the stage lights and giant screens amplified the moment. This became the payoff of the entire performance, as the Korean cultural elements, modern style, chemistry between the two, and energy from the audience all seemed to converge at once. The performance ultimately left a lasting impression on the final night of the Toronto concert. Jimin and Jungkook not only showcased their abilities as dancers and performers, but also presented a fusion of Korean culture and the language of modern performance. If the climactic moment became the part most remembered by the audience, the collaboration demonstrated how choreography can transform into a powerful stage experience when culture, music, movement, and the chemistry between two performers come together in one performance.